I used to be married to my ex-wife, who is now 35 years old, and I am 34. We were together for a total of 10 years, and we were married for 5 of those years. When we were both 25 years old and had 2 children, my ex-wife and my mother-in-law convinced me to have a procedure called vasectomy. Didn't really want to do it, but my ex-wife was having a tough time with her birth control, and she was convinced that we didn't need any more children. My mother-in-law got involved and persuaded me to go through with it. She suggested that I should have some of my sperm at a special place, sperm bank, just in case we change our minds about having more kids in the future. So I went ahead and had the vasectomy. Fast forward 5 years later, I found out that my ex-wife cheated on me and became pregnant with someone else's child. At that point, I decided to divorce from her. Sadly, during the divorce, I had to give up the house that I had inherited from my grandmother when I was just 18 years old. The reason I had to give up the house is important to explain. First, it's essential to note that we didn't have a prenuptial agreement, a legal document that outlines what happens to assets in case of divorce. I didn't actually live in the house until we got married. It became our shared home after we got married. For 2 years during our divorce process, my ex-wife fought to keep the house. It had been both my home and her home for 10 years. During that time, I made many improvements and changes to the house, but I did it all for her, not for myself. I added an extension to the house for her craft room, redid the kitchen twice, updated the living room, and even had a walk-in closet built specifically for her. Because I had spent a significant amount of money on those renovations, she urged that she should have the house since I had made these changes for her benefit. When everything was settled, it seemed likely that I would have to sell the house and divide the proceeds with her. She wasn't asking for much. She just wanted to keep the home. In the end, we reached an agreement. She could keep the house, but had to cover our own legal fees, the cost associated with the divorce. I got to keep our project car, most of our assets, our savings, and some of the possession we decided to split. I did want to keep the house, but I also wanted to ensure my kids had a stable place to live, and I didn't want them to go through the upheaval of moving around while she searched for a suitable place. The person my ex-wife cheated with decided not to be involved in the child's life and chose to stay with his own family. This left the child without a father figure, and as a result, my ex-wife decided to give the child my last name. I don't know who this other man is because my ex-wife wouldn't tell me. She wants to protect his marriage. Otherwise, I would have revealed his identity. However, according to the law in our state, I am considered the child's legal father, regardless of DNA, because the child was conceived while my ex-wife and I were still married. Even after a DNA test confirmed this, my ex-wife tells everyone that I'm a bad person and insists that the child is mine. She also claimed that I refuse to be part of the child's life. People around me consistently urge me to step up and take care of the child, often telling me to man up. When we went to court to determine custody, I faced a difficult situation. The court told me that I could have custody of all 3 children or I could have no custody at all. After a few years of co-parenting, everything seemed to be going well between my ex-wife and me. Although I was providing extra child care to her, our relationship had improved. I had managed to get my life back on track, and I found happiness with someone new. We are currently engaged and very happy together. However, my ex-wife isn't pleased about my newfound happiness, so she's now trying to change custody arrangement. She keeps saying that I should have her son, along with our children, on the weekends, and insists that I make him a part of my life. My ex-wife went to the extent of making a post on Facebook where she criticized me for not doing anything for our son. She's even telling our other children that I neglect their brother and don't care about him. My fiancé believed I should let go of my reservations and take on the responsibility because it's not fair that he doesn't have a dad while my other kids do. She thinks we can handle it as a family, especially since I'm already paying child support for him. However, I simply said no and have been avoiding discussing this topic. I have been feeling upset, and it seems like nobody is supporting my decision. I have no desire to be involved in the child's life. I thought my fiancée understood my perspective, but it turns out she doesn't. She believes I'm in the wrong, and I am harboring bitterness about the situation. She insists I should give it a chance. Am I wrong for not wanting to be part of my ex-wife's affairs child's life? I will be more than willing to be a positive father figure to my ex-wife's son. All I am asking is for her to take action against the biological father for financial support, remove my name from the birth certificate, and stop telling people that I am the father. It's not an irresponsible request. I am asking her to acknowledge her mistakes so that we can move forward. I may have been upset about losing my house, but currently the house is providing a roof over the head of my son and daughter. I am not angry about that anymore. Regarding my fiancée, she hadn't done anything wrong. I got upset on my own, listening to her reasoning. She's a loving and caring woman with a big heart, and she sees that two people are hurting in this situation. I am grateful for all the responses I received, and I am going to focus on moving forward with my life. Hopefully, in the future, I'll be able to afford an attorney who can help resolve this situation, or my ex-wife will step up and do the right thing. To those who understand how I feel, I appreciate your support. I just hope that no one else has to go through what I have been experiencing for the past 4 to 5 years of my life. Honestly, I am not the type of person who likes confrontation. After all, she's still the mother of my children. I thought that if I allow her to vent and express her feelings as much as she needed to, eventually people will stop paying attention to it. My friends do make jokes about how she took away both my manhood and the house during the divorce. But here's the issue. Everything was going well before I got engaged. I was taking care of our children and supporting her child. Our co-parenting arrangement was smooth and peaceful. It wasn't until I finally moved on and got engaged that she started having a problem with the situation. No, the cost of hiring a lawyer won't be more than what I will end up paying in child support over 18 years. But my finances are tight. I would definitely consider sitting down with a legal professional. But right now, I can't afford it. The situation is a result of state law, which allows this to happen. I know the baby wasn't mine. She knew it. And even the judge and lawyers were aware of it. However, the law clearly states that if a child is conceived during a marriage, the husband is legally considered the father. So in order for me to change this, both my ex-wife and the biological father would have to agree, or I have to spend thousands on lawyers to handle it for me. Everything was honestly fine until my ex-wife learned I was getting married. Many of the people I know, including some men and women, understand my situation. However, my ex-wife's close circle of friends and family believe her side of the story. This has been the expectation under common law for centuries, and multiple states have similar laws. I won't specify which states I am in, but unless I have thousands of dollars to give to a lawyer, I can't change this legal situation. I do genuinely feel sorry for her son. I don't exclude him from anything. I even bring him a few gifts on Christmas every year, and when I take my kids to the movies, I make sure he comes along too. My point is that I believed she should focus her effort on encouraging the biological father to be a father to their child instead of relying on me. In real life, gaining full custody of a child takes both time and money. Most states are hesitant to take children away from a capable mother. In response to the suggestion that I should end my relationship with my fiancée, I have to say that she has been nothing but a positive influence in my life. She's truly a blessing. She loves me and my kids, possesses a wonderful heart, and is a loving, caring person. She completely understands why I'm upset about the situation, but she also sees how much I am suffering, as well as the child involved. She made a suggestion that I didn't necessarily agree with, but that doesn't mean I should break up with her because of it. I want to make it clear that I don't exclude my child from anything. When we go to movies, I take her son with us. I also make sure to give Christmas and birthday gift. However, what I don't want is the title of being the child's father. I would genuinely agree to help raise the child and welcome him into our family completely if his mother pursued the biological father legally and I didn't have to officially be called his father. I make every effort to ensure her child doesn't feel left out. Whenever I take my children somewhere, I take him along as well. The truth is, I can't legally remove myself from the birth certificate without hiring a lawyer and paying a significant amount of money for the process. It would be easier if she cooperates, but she's unwilling because she wants me to have the father role in her child's life. Unfortunately, the biological father doesn't want to take on that responsibility. In my state, the only way to challenge the situation legally is to hire a lawyer, pay a substantial amount of money, and even then, it might not be overturned. Both the biological father and mother would have to contest it, but the guy refuses to acknowledge that he even has a child. To be honest, I'll be open to co-parenting the child if my ex-wife would stop lying about the situation, take responsibility for her actions, and stop trying to force the role of father on me. Currently, I don't exclude the child. I just don't want to be officially recognized as the child's father. If she pursues the biological father for support, remove me from the birth certificate, and change the child's last name, I would definitely be more willing to be involved in the child's life. It's harassment that make me reluctant to do more. Right now, she wants me to be the father of all 3 children. It feels like having given her the house from the divorce, having had a vasectomy, and paying child support for her son isn't enough. I do wish I could get the house back, but that's in the past. Currently, if she agreed to remove my support obligations and pursue the biological father, I would gladly be the best sibling dad for her son. That's the end of the post. Let me give my reaction to the story. You seem like a nice person who is trying to do the right thing. It's unfortunate that the boy doesn't have a dad, but it shouldn't be your responsibility. You mentioned that your ex didn't want to tell you the biological father to protect his marriage, which is a double betrayal to you and her own son. She chose her affair partner over you and denying her son the right to know his biological father. A truly devious woman. She's also making your life difficult, even after you're paying child support for a child that is not yours, all because you found happiness with your new fiancé and leaving her. That is why you don't negotiate with a terrorist in the first place. They will always want more because she smells weakness and sees that you're willing to supplicate to her. She wouldn't go back to the biological father because he is an a-hole. When you make things easier, people will take advantage of that, which is exactly what she's doing. To make matters worse, your new fiancé supports your ex-wife. All I can say is you have an interesting taste in relationships. I am not here to tell you how to handle your relationship with the boy, as you have already made your decision. However, it seems like you might be a person who is easily influenced and doesn't assert themselves, which is why your ex feels that she can control your happiness. Even your mother-in-law influenced you to get a vasectomy, which tells me more about you than your ex-wife. Even your new fiancé's actions are questionable and she doesn't support your decision, which tells me a lot more about you. You're easy to get along with. You choose partners that are dominant in the relationship. You are not the alpha of your relationship. If your ex-wife would do the same thing to you, potentially your new fiancé seems like she can run over you and disagree with you on crucial decisions like this that will influence even her own life. My advice to you is stop hesitating. Be more assertive. Take control of your life. Work hard to make more money so you can afford a lawyer to help you navigate this situation. It's important to keep a close eye on your new fiancé, as she may not be on your side and could potentially do something similar to what your ex has done if she hasn't already. You should be very cautious about who you marry because once you're legally recognized as the father, the law can be challenging. Family law in this country is gynocentric, so it may not be wise to consider marriage again, especially after what your ex has put you through. Your ex-wife appears to be using the legal system to control you, as marriage often means surrendering certain rights and freedom, and sometimes, like in your case, even if she has an affair and have a child, which is a product of her affair, you could still be legally considered the father in many states. Unfortunately, men often have limited option to change this situation unless the biological father contests for parental rights. This is unfair to men. Even though we are in the 21st century, sometimes in the court system, it seemed like we're intentionally stuck with an outdated law to benefit one gender over the other. Here is a quote directly from a legal article to illustrate this point, and I quote, "In approximately 21 states and the Northern Mariana Islands, a man may be presumed to be the father of a child in any of the following circumstances." And I will mention one which pertains to our topic for the day. And it goes, "He and the child's mother are or have been married to each other, and the child is born during the marriage or within 300 days after the marriage has ended." Close quote. In 21 states, even if your wife have an affair, gets caught, and you divorce her, and she becomes pregnant from that affair, you are still responsible for the child. It's quite surprising, isn't it? It makes me wonder why men continues to get married. It's like a choice between being brave or perhaps a bit foolish. Thanks for making it to the end of this story. Please hit the thumbs up to support the channel, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Let me get your reaction on the comment section. What do you think about this story? Thank you